there's a sports podcast that features OJ Simpson, the Juice.
So there's a show called It Is What It Is, and two guys from the rap game, Cameron and Mace, are the actual hosts of this show. And for those that don't know, as Carl just said, their football analyst is indeed OJ Simpson. And asked in an interview recently, he explained very simply, Cameron said that he's on the show because he thinks he's innocent. If he thought he was guilty, he wouldn't have him on the show.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a dumb thing to say. Okay, cool. I would have said because that's why pencils have erasers, but
yeah, whatever. I mean that's what you would say, but so the first clip is actually something that we featured on Who Are These Broadcasters when I was first aware of this. It's just to kind of seeing what the dynamic is of everybody. Take a look and see how these guys play along with the Juice in clip 1.
I knew you would pull some shit like this, bro. I knew you would pull some shit like that. I knew you would pull some shit like that, man. Yeah, what's up? I knew you would try some UFC shit today, so I came ready for you, man. Yeah,
hey, let's next week.
Yeah,
wait till next week. You gonna see some UFC stuff.
Yeah, I knew that you would try some UFC shit, so I came ready for you today. Let's get it rocking,
man. Yeah, that's the killer. I know.
Yeah, I knew he would try and murder. I knew he would try some shit like that.
There you
go. So he drops in twice. There's the killer I know. And it's like, oh, okay, clearly they even mention a little bit later. It's like, okay, OJ doesn't really hear everything we say. So they maybe have a little fun like that, that they call him the killer. But
I just want to point out something that OJ Simpson is a Wall of Famer for the Buffalo Bills. He was the first guy with a 2,000-yard season. That was back when they played 14 games. OJ is the man. Yeah, he had a couple slip-ups here and there. But other than that,
slip-ups, you say?
Yeah, I mean, don't Google it.
Okay.
Other than that, though, I mean, you're talking about the Naked Gun movies. You're talking about all the analysis.
He's great at those.
Yes,
He convinced me to rent cars from Hertz a number of times.
Right,
you know, that's what I remember him for.
Exactly. So I'm a big OJ guy.
Well, I want to take us back to clip 2 is the first appearance he ever made on the It Is What It Is podcast.
One of our football analysts, OJ Simpson.
Juice, what's up, Juice?
All is well.
What's up, Juice?
All is well.
What's good? What's happening, man? Yo, welcome to
We are SV, baby.
Yo, this sounds like Scorch's show. This is like so boring. What's up, Juice? It's like they're screaming at him like it's almost like Senator John interviewing him from outside of the limo.
I'm so sorry we couldn't have you in studio. Well, but next week we're gonna figure this shit out, man. We're gonna do this thing. So we're all together filming, man. But thank you for joining the show. We're very.
If I could just get this bracelet off, I could definitely be there in studio with y'all.
Excited, and congratulations on making your comeback on Twitter. We see everything you're doing, and we know that your knowledge for the game is impeccable, boy, baby.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, it's X now. It's X now. I'm having a little beef with him right now.
You having beef with? Niggas don't want no beef with those. What's the problem? What happened? You having beef with X for what?
Well, I have, it got me around 1 million people that keep me there.
Right.
And I've got 2 of my closest friends I play golf with who follow me say they don't give me an alert anymore when you're on.
He's been shadow banned. I have 2 on X. Maybe Juice and I should team up on this one. I'm a little annoyed by that too.
He knows the term. He'll explain it.
Okay.
Wow. We turn it on, and you've done 5 tweets over, 6 or 7 days. Right. So they shadow you.
Yep.
Gotcha.
They shadow, which means they don't send out the tweets.
It's fucked up, OJ. I'm with you on this one.
They don't send out the alerts to people that you've done it,
Right.
I don't even know what you would call it now that it's X. Right. You don't call it tweets anymore. I don't know what you call it. But, so that's what I'm kind of beefing with.
I got you. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know if I missed out on something. I still say tweets. I'm keeping it until I figure out the right verbiage.
Yeah, I do too.
But I
don't know what word you can use.
Yeah, that would sound weird, Sam, sending out X's.
Yeah, it would, right? that would sound real crazy.
Well, OJ doesn't like to talk about his exes, so let's just move on.
Good point. So he says, I'm going to keep using tweets until I figure out which verb to use. Wouldn't tweets be a noun in that scenario?
Oh, come on. Don't be Mr. Dictionary to the juice.
You're
Carl.
right. You're right. I don't want to be like Celery John over here and correct their grammar, but
in clip 4, the juice explains how he literally says it. He gets along with everybody.
he does.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know. I don't get into the racial stuff because I get along with everybody.
Colorblind.
I get along with everybody unless they cross me. Just don't fucking cross me.
And then the next thing you know, they're not complaining anymore. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, right.
In clip 5, OJ makes the hosts laugh, and you might notice a word that gets used a lot in this studio. It might show up in this clip. I think if Gino Bisconte did a sports show, you'd hear this word less than these guys throw it around in clip 5.
You know, even his brother, Jay Dumb, is different type of now. So when TJ Watt goes out the game and you be like, why you ain't sacking nobody? Because he ain't TJ Watt. We got a half of a TJ Watt. So you can't do that. Oh, they trying to do their best to find the talent that
You must be talking to a mirror in front of you because you make an argument with yourself.
I really do love
home run, OJ.
The only thing I'm annoyed with is now that I'm seeing more of his background. There's like one Bills helmet and everything else is all the other fucking teams he's played on. He was at the Bills for longer than all those teams.
Well, you know, they asked him specifically about this in the week before the Super Bowl, if you want to jump to clip 8.
I do.
I know we're getting towards the end of the season. Is this meaning that the Super Bowl is coming up, that we're not going to see any more Buffalo Bill paraphernalia in the background? Because that means it's only 49er shit for here on out.
Well, 49ers, they're the only ones still in it, buddy.
Yeah, but
you know,
so you
they're still in it. I got to celebrate that. I can't celebrate my Bills because, you know, they're doing what I'm doing. They're sitting at home, you know, watching TV. So I'm my Niners. I'm my Niners all the way, and I'm afraid, you know, because of Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be it figures to be one well of a Super Bowl, and I'm kind of still surprised that Vegas has the 49ers like a 2.5 point favorite.
I was too.
So, yeah. So whatever Juice says next year, that's why I left his prediction in there. I'm like, I'm going to bet the way Juice tells me to bet next year. Absolutely.
He knows his shit when it comes to football. I mean,
he really does.
When he first got on Twitter, he would go on there and just talk about his fantasy team and which guy was going to pop off that week and shit. Like he's following this stuff very closely. I would certainly have him on my show to talk football. In fact, should we start a football show with Juice? I'll reach out to him.
He might have an exclusive with Cameron and Mace, but maybe he could be a guest on it.
Maybe I could be a guest on this show. I'm liking this show. These guys are fun.
I mean, it makes football even more fun than it usually is. So clip 6, OJ is explaining his thoughts on a story that some of you might remember. Somebody who worked for the Jacksonville Jaguars used their virtual credit card and lost $20 million gambling on FanDuel. And the Jaguars asked FanDuel for their money back, and FanDuel said no. OJ can relate to this, as you might be able to imagine in clip 6.
It seems to me what's happening is, you know, in basic law, if somebody stole something from you or from me, which they have, and they sold it to someone, if the police went to that someone, they would get it back. It would go
or you could just show up at the hotel with a gun.
Back to you. So maybe they're trying to
it's quicker.
Base it on that and trying to set some precedent that, hey, wait a minute, we know where the 20 million is. We want our money back. So I'm assuming that's what they're basing it on, asking for it. I don't know if they're going to get it. But it seems to me that that's sort of what they're kind of basing it on.
I think FanDuel has the $20 million in a hotel room at the Palms, and they just the Jaguars need to kick in the door and just take it.
I like this idea. WATK, hosted by OJ and Podcast Hitman. Yes, let's make that happen.
Just a couple more clips. In clip 7, it's the beginning of an episode, and OJ's talking about how maybe he had a little bit of a tough day, which I think we can feel for him because this is a guy who deserves to have things go his way. Clip 7.
Well, it was a tough day, but we'll get into that with no football.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a day. It was a lazy day for me. I got 3 of my nieces in town, and they're looking out for their Uncle OJ.
Okay, that's
they call me Uncle Daddy, because their father is gone. Okay. But so it's been nice. It's been nice. I had a nice day looking for the rain, even though it didn't quite get
As
here
of this afternoon, he's gone.
Where are your nieces now? They're looking for the real killer. I sent them out.
At the end of the clip, he says, I'm just out there looking for the rain. Well, he's looking for the real rain that hasn't come yet, but he's hoping to find it. The last clip is...
Is that sad? They call him Uncle Daddy?
Yes. That's
okay. It's a bummer.
Later in the episode, Cameron calls him Uncle Daddy, but...
that's fine.
So in the last clip we'll play here is clip 10. And OJ is responding to a prompt. It's a comment made by Shaq as to whether or not you should open up to a woman. And OJ probably gives us the most OJ answer in clip 10.
Shaq said men shouldn't open up to women because they'll use it against them. He said whenever something go down, they're going to throw it back in your face. Do y'all agree? OJ first.
OJ first.
When you say open up to women, I don't know what he's talking about. Is he talking about confessing? No, man, don't confess. You're right. Don't say nothing.
Oh, you gotta love this guy.
It was your lying eyes. So leave me out of the confession.
Oh, no confession.
I got to leave me out of it.
It's definitely a very easy laugh room that he's in, but still, that is pretty funny.
In all these episodes, they all say that. No confession. No confession.
OJ's like, okay, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, my goodness.
The classy thing to do is to move on.
Oh, shit.
But Cameron's like, why do you think we hired OJ? So that we can get him to say something like this. It took the whole football season, but thank God, Juice.
Of course.
Who are these podcasts?